Hi guys, let's talk about semiconductor chips. So I have been a semiconductor engineer throughout my career. I have worked in the industry for many number of years now. I was in US for about 20 years. I did my master's in electrical engineering and computer science from University of Minnesota, that's in Minneapolis, St. Paul. And I did my technology MBA from the same school after a few years. And right after I finished my master's, I started working in the semiconductor industry. Semiconductor industry is one of the most exciting industries. It's been one of the most high-tech industries, and it is getting much more exciting as we talk about new terminologies like AI, ML. So I want students to understand about the world of semiconductors. Let's start off by understanding that the world that we live in is run by chips. From the moment we get up to the moment we sleep, everything that we do is possible only because of chips. For example, the first thing that every one of us does in the morning is check our phones. Our cell phones will not work if there is no chip working inside the cell phone. We take internet for granted. I was born in a generation where there was no internet for a while, and then internet became a very prominent part of our lives after that. And the whole internet is possible only because of the chips that make it possible behind the scenes. So behind the scenes is the semiconductor chips, those tiny small chips that do their job. That's why all these things are possible. From our smart cars to smartphones to internet to social media to satellites to every gadget that you see is possible only because of semiconductor chips. Social media that we are on all the time, the Instagram, the Facebook, the Google, the Amazon, we do payments online, we order food online, we do shopping online. Everything is possible only because of chips. Every piece of software that is written that can run only on chips. So the message to the students is that one should really consider semiconductor engineering or VLSI as a serious field of for you as a career choice. Now, when we talk about getting into VLSI or semiconductor field or becoming VLSI or semiconductor engineer, it's very important to understand that it's a high-tech field. The most exciting part of this field is that it's very tangible. So a chip becomes an actual product which one can touch and feel. A chip goes into a cell phone, goes into a smart car, goes into your laptop, and you could actually see it. So unlike the software world where the software remains software, although during the chip designing process we are working at the software level, at one point of time a chip actually gets manufactured and it gets into a product, and that product is something that we all can experience and we all can use. So chip designing or VLSI or semiconductor field requires you to do a degree in whether it's a bachelor's or master's degree, which should be very focused on those core courses. From industry point of view, I can tell you that I've been talking to a lot of young people and I've been interviewing a lot of young people. And one thing that I find is that generic degrees, generic engineering degrees like ENTC or ECE don't cut it anymore, because what industry is expecting you to understand is much more deeper knowledge of VLSI and semiconductor in general. And so uh, students should apply to those courses or to colleges, to those universities that offer these kind of VLS or bachelor's and master's programs. I have also been on board of studies of 3 or 4 engineering colleges in and around Pune. And one thing that we often want to address is the gap between the industry and academia. What that means is that the coursework that is being taught in academia in these courses and what industry is expecting, there is a huge gap. And there are multiple reasons why that gap exists. We should look at the curriculum that is being taught in these engineering colleges, and we should look at the courses, the way they are taught, the content of each of the courses, and why they are taught. Because even when I was a student, and then later on, I realized that when I started working, that a lot of these courses were not really useful, and we only learned them because they are part of our curriculum, and we just sort of mucked them up just before the exam time, and we forgot about it, and they had no role whatsoever in our careers. And so we should look at closely on why certain courses are being offered and whether those courses translate into something useful from industry point of view. So I've been working very closely with faculty members. It's also important to train our faculties, because what we find is that often enough faculty members themselves don't understand this field enough, because it's a very highly complex, highly technical field, and the technology is upgrading itself within the industry, but that doesn't percolate itself to the academia. And so it's our job to train our faculties so that the faculties can pass on that knowledge to the students. The way to train the faculties is to make sure that they're trained with the material that the industry is actually working at. So a lot of times what happens is that the training quality or the trainers themselves are not well equipped to train our faculties or our students. And so industry should uh, take it upon themselves to create these training modules and training programs which are reflective of the real world designs that we as industry work on, and that should be used as training material for training our faculties, and in turn faculty should be training our students. So only if we are able to bridge this gap between academia and industry, we will be able to produce good quality engineers. Students should also realize, recently there was a statement made by an NVIDIA CEO and also Elon Musk, that the world no longer needs programmers, because as we all know, we all have been using now AI ML for past year or more than that, and they are saying that AI ML will be able to produce programs for you. So software programmers will no longer be needed. So what is needed is people or engineers who understand physics and maths. So they actually, both of them said that, go back to physics, go back to maths. And chip designing is that field that actually uses physics and actually uses maths. And so every buzzword that we use in today's world, whether it's IoT, Internet of Things, or AI ML, or cloud, all these technologies are driven by chips. So again, the message to the students is that you have to consider semiconductor and VLSI field as a viable option, as a very important option for your career. Other thing, from India point of view, we need to understand that India has been a services country when it comes to semiconductors for last 2 decades or so, or more than that. And there are a lot of MNCs in India, and so there's a huge semiconductor ecosystem that exists in Bangalore, in Pune, in other cities in India. But primarily, it's all services-based industries, and so these MNCs shell out some work for Indian workforce to carry out, and we do it for them. What we need to do now is to go from being services oriented country to a product oriented country. And so government of India has come up with a lot of initiatives when it comes to semiconductors. There's been a lot of government schemes, a lot of government interest and funding that is pouring into the semiconductor sector. But now it's up to the Indian workforce to really come to that stage where they can translate their experience that they have gained in working in the services industry, and take it upon themselves to be solution and product designers and developers, and offer that. And what is important from that point of view is to really crack the business side of things, because you will be then competing with MNCs, which are product companies, which are already out, which are already in India, and all of us use non-Indian products. Again, like I said, from the moment we get up to the moment we sleep, every product that we use is a non-Indian product. And so we got to understand that whether it's social media products or whether it's a technology product, every product is non-Indian product. And so it's extremely challenging for Indian workforce using their experience from the service industry, but now how they become entrepreneurs and business owners, and how can they produce solutions and products for India and in India. So that's going to be the challenge. But I'm sure that if we are able to produce batches of students with the knowledge that the industry wants them to have, if we have experienced and knowledgeable faculty, and from industry point of view, if the industry people who have immense number of years of experience, they take it upon themselves to now become entrepreneurs and business owners who can produce solutions and products. This, along with the government support, and the government is talking about manufacturing, government is talking about putting money into startups. So these three pillars, government, academia, and industry, they have to now come together, and it has to translate into India becoming a solutions and product company or product country when it comes to semiconductors.